Ah, the sizzle of McDonald's sausage. It's enough to make you crave your favorite breakfasts. Enough to head over to McDonald's. Enough to make you really wish this commercial were scratch and sniff.
And if you're a sausage person, now get 2 satisfyingly savory sausage McGriddles, sausage biscuits, or sausage burritos for just $3.33. Or mix and match. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of the Awakening Women podcast. If you love this episode, please take a moment to share it and leave a 5-star rating and review. If you're ready to take your next step, head to the link in the show notes to sign up for my latest free class. Also, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Awakening Women Official and join the conversation. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you again in the next episode. Take care of yourself in the meantime, and I'll see you online. Relationships are our greatest point of personal growth. I really believe this. And this is even true when you're in a toxic, abusive, or narcissistic relationship. This is only true, though, if you choose to take it that way, if you choose to embark on that path of growth, instead of feeling victimized, stuck, unable to make any move, unable to change your life, feeling like you have no control over your own life, feeling under the thumb and under control of your spouse. If you can't bust out of those patterns and internal ways of thinking and being and your internal stories, like we talked about in a previous episode around our stories, then you will not grow, you will not change, and you'll just stay in the same place. But the moment that you can commit to seeing, like really being awake is seeing things as they are and realizing there is something within you, psychologically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, that needs this experience in order to grow in some way. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here still. And so you can take that and think, I'm screwed, I'm this, and feel guilt and feel shame and be down on yourself and all that. Or you can say, I have to fix me. Like, look in the mirror and say, like, you're the one that needs fixing. Because you are the one that is in the relationship. You are the one that has put up with the intolerable for so long, right? And I say this because this is a conversation I've had to have with myself many, many, many times. I'm not saying this as in pointing the finger, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because nobody can grow from, oh, isn't it awful? Yes, it's awful. Look what he's doing, what he's not doing. He's doing this, he's doing that. Well, what's that bringing up for you? And what is the opportunity you have here to dig deep and find where that's rooted somewhere in your being, that you think that this is okay? Because on some level you do think it is. Trust me. You can say, no, I don't think this is okay. No, this is not okay. But who's the one that's still in it, not taking any steps to get the hell out? And I'm not saying that there isn't complications involved. I know it's not just as easy to say, just walk away, pack a bag and walk away. However, you can still make the commitment and the decision at any point to say, I am not staying in this same place. I know that for sure. And then you take new steps from there, knowing I'm not ready to make that decision right now. However, I'm also no longer going to stay here in this place. Whatever that looks like, I cannot do this anymore. This is no longer part of my story. Like, from here on, I'm writing different chapters. So chapter 1 is awakening. And we're talking about this in the boot camp right now of lifting the veil of illusion and the fog and the lies you're telling yourself and the gaslighting that you are believing in over your own internal knowing. This is the work you need to do, because if you don't do it, well, actually, you don't need to do it. I always am careful to say that. You don't need to. If you want to grow and evolve and figure out what you need to do in this relationship to actually live a higher quality of life, to live a life of freedom and happiness and joy and be able to live your life on your terms, then you need to be able to do this work. Because you will just leave this relationship and trade it in for another of the same kind and keep perpetuating the cycle. And you will tolerate more nonsense once again, because you didn't heal the part of you that believes that maybe you don't deserve better than that, or that maybe there isn't better, or maybe it's as good as you're going to get, or maybe this isn't as bad as something you might find later. All of these internal thinking patterns. And so if you can choose to use your current relationship situation as a catalyst for your transformation, you will not believe the amount of growth that you will go through. Because the way I see it, if you can get yourself to a place of strength and being able to either initiate some kind of path that creates change in the relationship, which if you are truly experiencing narcissistic abuse and high narcissism, I always want to make sure that I'm being clear. There is no working it out. There is you making it work and struggling and suffering in the relationship forever, right? But if that's not the case and that's not what you're experiencing, then of course that's a different journey altogether. But listening to this podcast, you probably know pretty well if that's what you are experiencing. And if you're not sure, then please head to episode 100. There's a 2-part series, how to know you're experiencing abuse. And there's an episode as well that specifically talks about how to know if you're experiencing narcissistic abuse. And I will link it actually in the show notes, because I like to just get that out of the way so that you can start, throwing out the doubt of like wasting time thinking, oh, is this what it is? Is this what he is? Is he this? Am I getting it wrong? This is another way that we just delay, and then a way that we make excuses that we can't do anything to change our lives, because what if it's not really that bad? Or what if I'm making a mistake leaving and I won't find anything better? So we need to put all of that aside, and then we go from I'm a victim, I have no control over my life, he's controlling, he's this, he's that, like whatever, list them all out, whatever he is. And then you turn it around, you go, why am I tolerating this? Like, why? And I know there could be a list of reasons why. They're controlling, they're manipulative, they're financially abusive, they make life hell, they make separation hell, they will make it hell for you. Yes, they will make it a nightmare. They will, all of the things you're seeing in the relationship now, yes, of course that's going to continue. However, then you're not dealing with it on a daily basis. And it is different in a lot of ways, right? So understanding that this situation that you're in, if you choose, could be the greatest opportunity for growth that you may ever have, right? I think growing out of something like this to the point you can walk away from something you've been in for decades, that you've raised families in, like if you can do that, man, you can do anything. Like everything else will just feel like a bloody cakewalk, because you'll be like, I walked through that shitstorm of flames and got out the other side somehow and got my life back together somehow. And everything else is like, this is minor, right? Aside from, one thing I could think of obviously is like a death of someone very close to you. That would be up there, right? Obviously. But I just mean, in the grand scheme of things, like divorce isn't like the end of life, right? It's not like the end of the world to have a marriage fall apart. It happens all the time. Do I think people maybe give up too soon? Maybe, but I don't think so. Like my lens that I see it through from my own experience, but also working with so many women who've been in these relationships for 20, 35 or more years, they don't give up too soon. They let it drag on for way too long. And then so much damage is done to them and their kids. So if you think you're giving up too soon, ask yourself, is that true? And maybe you think, oh, maybe there's more I could do. What more could you do? You've probably tried a lot of other things. And so if you're in a place, the stage of, I see all this for what it is, but I don't want to walk away without feeling like I gave it every last ditch effort. Like I gave it my all before making that decision, so I can look myself in the mirror, so I can look at my kids in the eyes to know that I did everything I could to keep our family together. Also, this is going to serve you when you are gaslit to believing that you are the reason why the relationship ended because you chose to end it. So really standing in this truth of, I did everything. There was nothing left for me to try. If you would like to dive deeper into this, to understanding step by step what it is that you can do to start on your own path to growth, healing, and transformation while you're in the relationship, while you're still undecided, while you're not sure what to do, but you know that you need to do something, then head to the link in this episode's show notes and dive into the Own Your Power Bootcamp. We are already underway. So yesterday was day 1, but if you're listening to this today, on the day it has come out, then you can still catch up. You will get the emails for all of the videos and should be kept in the loop. And then each day in the Facebook group, I'm posting to make sure everybody's on track as well. So you still have time to dive in today if you'd like to join us to get started on your work that you need to do so you can use your relationship as a catalyst for your own growth, even if your spouse is not doing his own work, because let's face it, they are not going to. You don't have to let your relationship or your spouse stop you and limit your growth and healing. So I'll see you in the bootcamp and in the Facebook group. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of the Awakening Women podcast. If you love this episode, please take a moment to share it and leave a 5-star rating and review. If you're ready to take your next step, head to the link in the show notes to sign up for my latest free class. Also, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Awakening Women Official and join the conversation. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you again in the next episode. Take care of yourself in the meantime, and I'll see you online.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
I'm Margot Robbie, and I play Barbie.
And I'm Ryan Gosling, and I play Ken.
Max is now the exclusive streaming home of Barbie.
So cool.
And the Max with Ads plan is included with your Cricket $60 unlimited plan at no additional cost. Log in with your Cricket username and password to experience Max on all your favorite devices.
This is the best day ever.
It is the best day ever.
Don't miss Barbie, now streaming on Max. Phone plan streams in standard definition. Programming subject to change. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.